Running backroads of America and live from the G&D Show studios, this is your GhostMan and Demon Hunter Show.
Doesn't that sound exciting to you?
Hey, welcome back, world. Matter of fact, welcome back, Shadow Nation, to the one, the only mystifying oracle of radio, your Ghostman and Demon Hunter show, Demon Hunter.
I have been to the mountaintop, and I have seen the light, and a voice came down out of heaven and said, your fly is down, pull it up.
Your fly's down, pull it up. Special thanks to all our homes, all our sponsors, Stitcher, Smart Radio, Planet Paranormal, Action Audio Apps. Hey, are you listening? They want to know, so check them out, actionaudioapps.com. Paranormal A in Canada, A. Thanks, guys, for being so cool. Another Sunday night, man.
One more for the books.
One more for the books. For the ages! We are the one show that goes down through the ages, guys. What do you think about that?
Through the ages.
Through the ages, baby.
I have definitely had some ages added to me. Since
yeah, you have. You have. So, what's going on, man? We're back here. It's been a long week. God, has it been a long week, huh?
You had some stuff go on this week.
Yeah, I had I had one of the crazy weeks. It went from, terrifying to suspenseful. From that to just a nice, relaxing weekend with the kids. This is as relaxing as you can get it. But Mom, my mother, my dear mother, 65 years old, she had a mild heart attack. Don't worry, Shadow Nation. She's doing fine. She's recovering in the hospital nicely. She's out of the hospital now. She actually got released on Friday. She was in for a couple days. No damage done, the doctor said. They did have to put a couple stents in. Open up some tubes there, make sure the blood's pumping, and she's back home, doing well.
Cleaning the floors already, and
yeah, I don't know about that, but I never knew they go up through the groin to the heart muscle or heart ventricle, whatever, and they put those little stents in and open you up there. So, yeah, they had to do that. They said they was going to do bypass surgery if that didn't work, so we had our fingers crossed there. It was suspenseful. That was the suspense there for a moment, and thank God it all went to plan. Mom's okay. Love you, Mom. Hope you're around for another 400 years. Well,
400?
Well, she hasn't been around for 400 years. But, man, that's scary. You never know what's going to happen, guys. So if you're close to someone you love right now, give them a hug. Give them some love. Call your parents after the show, of course. Call your parents. Say how much you love them, guys. Hey, that reminds me, Demon Hunter, one of the great projects that we sponsor on the show. We do a lot of charity events and stuff, guys. We try to get involved when people ask us. The SYL Project, guys. Share some love today. Share your love. The SYLproject.com. Good friend of ours, Sandy Merritt. We've supported her before in the Susan G. Komen 3-Day. You remember that, Nathan?
I do remember that.
Well, she did start this SYL project. It is tax deductible now. You guys can go there, SYLproject.com, the SYLproject.com, and give some love today, guys. They're doing a lot of good benefits for people, fighting the good fight against cancer and their families, and they need that extra boost. And the money goes to basically gifts and things that those people need. So give some love today, guys. SYLproject.com. Good thing people are like that are out there, and good thing people like us are out there to help people like those, Demon Hunter.
I guess so. I mean, I feel saintly already. I'm waiting for
saintly.
Waiting for the Pope to call and tell me I've been lifted to the level of saint.
You've been a bad boy.
Which I've always deserved, don't you know?
Yeah, you've been a bad boy. That's what the Pope... I heard this new Pope's pretty cool, though. He's pretty lenient.
He definitely seems to have people thinking that. I don't know what we're going to find in the future, but people seem to be liking his attitude towards modern topics. Which,
you have to... ooh, that's loud. You have to adapt to survive, even the Catholic Church or whatever. Was that loud?
Faith does not adapt to man. Man must adapt to the faith.
Godzilla, iconic. Godzilla.
Godzilla does not adapt. Godzilla conquers.
What is it? Chuck Norris doesn't listen to the opera. The opera listens to Chuck Norris. When did the Chuck Norris joke start? I wonder who the first guy was that was sitting at home and thought, Walker, Texas Rangers was an awesome movie and said, I'm going to come up with a joke. He dropped that and there's like 5 billion now. And he probably got no credit whatsoever.
It was probably Chuck Norris.
It might have been.
Because who else would start something that iconic?
Here's a trivia quiz. What was Chuck Norris's movie, best film, do you think that he was known for? We know Chuck Norris, but we don't know, really what movie he's known for.
Well, gee.
You don't know?
There's a lot of Chuck Norris movies that he's known for. Sorry, I was just trying to check the chat room there.
Yeah, well, go ahead and check that. Guy, well, he's checking the chat room on live air.
Hey, you're the one who
check the chat
always
room.
tells me to check
the chat room. Yeah.
Why are you giving me trouble here, man?
I don't know, but man.
Why are you messing with me, bro?
But man, what was that all about? You said,
but I don't know.
Long day, but man. Anyway, best Chuck Norris movies. I looked it up. Thank you.
You did?
Google. Yeah.
So this was all just a lead-in?
It's from the. It was a lead. It was a long, stretched out lead, guys. Like you'll find out if you're new to the Shadow Nation. That's our listeners, and we do drag things out on this show. We drink heavily.
I would say up there among my favorites of the Chuck Norris movies would probably be Way of the Dragon.
Whatever. List of the best Chuck Norris movies ranked best to worst with movie trailers when available. Though he is known for his role in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger. You know that one, don't you?
Of course. I have seen the commercial.
He actually has an impressive filmography, they say. Yeah. He's known for his black belt. Chuck Norris' highest grossing... Hold on a second. I can't see everything. You know how that is. Yeah, Chuck Norris' highest grossing films have received a lot of criticism over the years, you can imagine. But they've earned millions upon millions around the world. The order of these top Chuck Norris movies is decided by how many votes they received. In the American...
so it's not by their gross or anything like that.
No, well, they put this out quite a while ago. They asked him, they said, hey, man, it was an American poll. Or, I'm sorry, it was all over the world. They did this. I don't know. Are you ready for it, though?
Sure. How many are we doing here?
Let's see here. I don't know. Why do you ask me these questions?
Well, do I get to try and guess them first, or are we just going to go through them?
Okay. The worst they have up here.
The worst.
Hold on, let's see if it goes from top to bottom. No, let's go down to start at the very bottom here. Okay, you ready? This one came in with only 20 votes. Never even heard of it. I doubt you'll get this, but go ahead.
Something with only 20 votes? I don't know.
His name of this film was called The Blank Teachers.
Actually, I do remember that film.
You do?
I remember seeing that film. Oh, jeez.
Had Dick Miller, James Mulholland, and Susan.
And somebody did a sequel to it without Chuck Norris.
The Blank Teachers. It's going to take a while.
No, I'm not going to be like. I don't think I'm.
The Student Teachers. Second film.
Student Teachers.
35 votes came in at top blank.
That would probably be Top Dog.
That's it. Dang, 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 dang. That's our victory bell, guys. Third film, America, home of the...
Brave?
Oh, my God, yes. Not too much of an original title. Fourth, Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Blank.
Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Blank.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one I know Bruce Lee for is and Chuck Norris was like I said there was Return of the Way of the Dragon, but I don't know.
Mania.
Kung Fu Mania.
Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Mania.
I did not know that one.
I'll just run through these. 5, Forest Warrior. 6, Dodgeball, a true underdog story. That was one of the ones, in our time.
Okay.
Yellow-Faced Tiger, The Cutter, The Wrecking Crew, Chuck Norris' Private Lesson. That sounds like a porno. The President's Man, Bells of Innocent, Breaker Breaker, Logan's War, and very last but not least, the #1 Chuck Norris film from around the world, Lone Wolf McQuade.
Really?
Yeah, it had David Carradine, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Delta Force didn't fall anywhere in there.
Got 187 out of the total.
And I mean, for worst, did not get sidekicks.
The Delta Force was 117 votes.
Oh, it did have 117. Okay.
Yeah, so it did. So there, there you go. There you go. Lone Wolf McQuade. I've actually heard that before. People say, "Man, you haven't seen that Lone."
You haven't seen Lone Wolf McQuade?
I never have.
Rumor has it that Carradine refused to lose the fight at the end of the movie.
Yeah, you're giving them spoilers. You didn't give a spoiler alert.
No, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Nah.
If you've never seen Lone Wolf McQuade, like Sean here.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa.
instead of losing the fight with Chuck Norris, it kind of got left as a draw, and then
Daddy,
a gun was used to end the fight. And this is this big spoiler alert there. I'm not going to say who how it ends, but yeah, he refused to lose the fight because he was like, I'm Kung Fu, man. I'm Kung Fu. I can't lose.
He is Kung Fu.
Up your butt, Joe Boo.
Yeah, he's Grasshopper.
Yes.
He's young Grasshopper. That was good. I remember, who else here in the Shadow Nation?
Did the people who find him in that hotel room go, there's a grasshopper in the closet?
I don't know. Wasn't he in women's pantyhose or something?
No. No.
Or was that...
That story just got out of line. No, he was just hanged in the closet. And, of course, people jumped to the assumption that it was erotic
asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation. But he was just hanged in the closet.
He was hung?
He was hanged.
Hung in the closet. Anyway, Demon Hunters, Shadow Nation, are you ready for this one?
I'm always ready.
All right. Tonight's guest!
Why do you always ask me this?
I don't know.
Why do I always interrupt you?
I don't know. It's just something we do. We've learned to do over the years. Anyway, guys, tonight's guest... You ready for this? He's an American stand-up comedian, actor, musician, playwright, filmmaker, and voice artist. He won the 2005 Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Musical for the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. He was the voice of Zhang in Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu Panda Holiday, and so many other films, guys, I can't mention, like Fanboys. His books he's been working on.
You
Moon
can't
Lake.
mention them? We're not allowed?
Fanboys. Huh? Moon Lake.
We're not allowed?
And much, much more, guys. He's going to talk about his upcoming comics he's been working on. Huh?
Yeah?
Anyway, guys, tonight's guest, the wild man of Hollywood, Mr. Dan Fogler. He'll be stopping by studio. He'll be in the third chair. Hold on to your hats. Dan is so cool. Hide the marijuana. Nathan, we know you got it over there.
Never touch the stuff.
Hide the booze. Anyway, Dan Fogler, good friend of the show, coming by tonight, guys. That's how we roll. How do you roll?
With wheels.
Yeah, with wheels. Anyway, stay tuned for that, man. Dan, huh? How cool is that?
That's very cool.
Yeah, he came by the studio earlier. He was talking to us, and Nathan was blown away at how cool I am. And I had to tell him, Nathan, don't pay attention to me. You got to pay attention to Dan right now. Remember that?
Yeah, I totally did not totally hog the conversation, which I intend to do tonight as well. So
you totally hogged it. I got my shots in, earlier in the phone conversation, but tonight I'll make sure to trump you on that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to add up. But man, if you guys haven't been, tuning into a lot of the things. I left some Walking Dead stuff up on the board as you're looking at it right now, guys, from last week's show. Oh, I'm sorry, the week before last. Ross Marquand, Aaron from The Walking Dead, stopped by. Wow, what an interview.
That was a great interview.
And Ross was amazing, dude. He told us after the show, dude, you guys are crazy. This is the best show I've ever been on. And what did you say? You need to tell Hardwick that he needs to clean his act up and call us up, man.
That, and I told him he had to go to all the other cast members of The Walking Dead and say, "There's this show called GhostMan and Demon Hunter. You guys got to get on it."
You got to do it. Well, we've had what's that?
Yeah, but everybody we've had on the show is dead now.
Yeah.
So they can't go tell everybody else they need to come on the show.
Yeah, they die off. I don't know. The one we had before Ross, guys, was Chad Coleman. Actor Chad Coleman played Tyrese. I love Tyrese. I can't believe he got killed off the show.
That to me, that's no spoiler alert, Sean.
We didn't. They should have been caught up by now. Anyway, man. You know, I left that in, guys. You'll find out that we do an original series because, you know, like much of the world, we love The Walking Dead. And on this show, Nathan will tell you, he'll vouch for me, we cover everything, guys, from paranormal, late night boogeyman in your closet, people that see werewolves, people that are werewolves, alien, abductees, aliens, and, of course, our favorite spooky type, paranormal type shows. And, of course, The Walking Dead's in there, and we love it. So we started a weekly thing, didn't we, Nate?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we came.
I enjoy it.
It's called.
I don't know if everybody else enjoys it.
Yeah.
But I know I enjoy it.
But with the end season finale last week, and I will get into that later, I figured we would do one more Rot Talk.
Rot Talk!
Yeah, Rot Talk for the season, and then again, it picks up in October. So, but we won't have to wait. We'll cover that tonight, Nathan.
Really?
On another Rot Talk. Hey!
Hey!
This weekend,
yes,
we took a little trip to a place called, and a lot of people won't know this or won't understand it because unless you live out in the Midwest, Springfield, Illinois. Who's
Isn't that where they make rifles?
Who was that the home of? Who?
The guy that invented that pocket fishing rod.
Yeah.
Ron Popeil. That's it. Yeah.
Are you serious? Ron Popeil?
No, I'm not serious.
He invited her pocket rocket. You're such a BSer.
I said pocket fishing rod. It's
pocket fishing rod. Anyway, adult home of our 16th president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
How's he doing?
He's not doing really good these days, but he is out there, and I got to tell you, it's overwhelming. And of course, me growing up in Indiana, he was born in Kentucky, and then he only stayed. Believe it or not, Kentucky's claim to fame is the birthplace of Lincoln, and the claim to fame in Illinois is home of Lincoln, land of Lincoln. I'm sorry. Indiana just says Lincoln's Lincoln's boyhood home. So all three of them claim the fame is, Lincoln was here. But Indiana is where he spent the majority of his life. A lot of people don't know that.
I did not realize he spent the majority of his life.
He did.
Most of the stories I know about him, of course, take place while he was in the White House, so in Washington.
Yeah, but he was only there for 2 terms, yes?
Not even. He was assassinated a few days after he was sworn in for his second term.
Second term, and I think I'm not sure about that, but I think the anniversary of his death, his assassination at Ford's Theater is coming up. I believe it's April 14th. So it was a real weird time to be down there. They're planning for a mock funeral. The first time we got there, I got out of the car, went to the Lincoln Tomb in Springfield, of course, where the burial mound is, where he's at. Big, tribute to President Lincoln. The mausoleum he's in, the tomb, has the Confederate soldiers on top and Lincoln and the slaves. And you walk inside this place, and marble floors, dark marble surroundings, low lit. You can see, of course, but it's very low lit. Hand carved, old statues. They even have, if you ever seen that documentary, Stilling Lincoln's Body, because we're into the morbid stuff. So when I heard that, I had to watch it. Yeah, the grave robbers that had tried to steal Lincoln's body. Now, Lincoln's body was not always in the rotunda, which is what they call the tomb out there. He was actually in a makeshift into a hill, a small little mausoleum where they moved his dead son that he brought it. The wife had his son brought with him to the cemetery, and Lincoln was laid to rest with his son, and you can still see, I did a little short video, I'll put that up on our Facebook page, guys, later, but you can still see the slots in the walls where they would put the crypts, and it's all decaying, and they're trying to work on it now, but the actual sarcophagus was right inside there, and you can see like these pegs in the ground, I guess, that, seated the sarcophagus. Well, when the grave robbers broke in, the Secret Service that Lincoln had started were hiding in the cemetery. They got information on this plot. They knew somebody was going to steal Lincoln's body. And the grave robbers went in there and they sawed off the end of Abraham Lincoln's marble crypt. And inside was the coffin, and the dummies forgot how heavy it was, and they couldn't get his coffin out, so they got it halfway out. They heard somebody scream, "Stop! Halt! Hands up!" And they took off running. Big gunfire ensued in the cemetery there where I was at, and it ended up being the Secret Service shooting at each other, and the grave robbers got out free, man. So go figure that. But it was just surreal. I mean, I was up there, and you walk inside, and you see there was an old man sitting there next to Lincoln's tomb. He was sitting there with a cane, and he was telling us, here's this big marble tomb, and it says, or big marble monument, and it says Abraham Lincoln on it, and he says he is 14 inches from the front of that and 10 feet down, encased in like a cage. I guess it's his coffin, and on top of that is a
and
crypt.
they covered that with concrete, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, they put a cage around his coffin, and then they put the vault. They put a cage around the coffin in the vault, cage around the vault, and then 10 feet of concrete
to prevent anybody from trying to steal it again.
10 feet down, dude. And then, of course, all around him, Mary Todd Lincoln and all the boys, Tad there, and Lincoln's kids, Robert. Robert's not buried there, actually. He's actually buried in Washington, but they do have a plaque for him, honoring him and all that. But we did that, and then they had a museum. You'd have loved this, man. We went to the Lincoln Museum.
You can't keep me out of a museum. That's the worst part.
Man, it was cool. They had the gloves he wore the night he was assassinated.
Ah.
They had like his glasses that were in his pocket and some other stuff on display there the night he was assassinated. And you walk into this like White House replica. It's not as big, of course, but you walk into it and you walk around. It tells you what he had to go through from Springfield to, from Kentucky, Indiana, Springfield, and then on. And you hear everybody screaming at him, leave the Declaration, leave the Constitution alone and all this stuff. We don't need another amendment. Don't need to free the slaves. And so it kind of showed you what he had to go through. Then it showed you the Civil War, how they fought it out and everything. And at the very end, there's a huge, dark, cold room, and you walk into it, and I'm talking huge. And they have black curtains hanging from the walls, and they have a replica of Lincoln's coffin laying in state there in the middle of the room. And man, it's just amazing. On the walls it says, Lincoln our savior, and whatever. And I was taking video of it, and all of a sudden somebody tapped me on the shoulder. It was a security guard. He was telling me how you couldn't take video in there. I was like, I was just trying to figure out my phone, but I actually have video of it. So and then
the only way you're getting video in there is Google Glasses, is what you're saying.
Or mine, yeah. I took a cell phone video, but just email me. I'll send it to you. But anyway, we went into the Lincoln Theater there, and they do 2 shows. One of them, you go in there, and it tells you about Lincoln's life, and it puts you in the middle of the Civil War. I mean, cannon fire from the stage with actual smoke rings coming out of the crowd, and when it does, the seats rattle. And you hear the soldiers all around you and stuff. It's pretty cool. And the next one...
Are you sure you weren't just in the middle of, like, ghosts?
No, maybe I was. But the next one... It's funny you should say that. The next one, there's a curator, and he walks out on stage, and he starts talking to you about history and the documents that they've been tracking down on Lincoln and how they're still finding new things and researching. And then he goes on to talk about... You see, like, ghosts around him, like an image of Lincoln in the background, kind of bluish, and his wife, and they talk about how they lost their kids and all this stuff, and it's really cool. And you see this curator, he's pointing to us, he's interacting with the crowd, and he says, you see this flag behind me, this is one of my favorite pieces. And he goes on to say that it was the 111th Illinois Fighting Infantry, and this flag was with them in battle. And he goes, I know, I was there. And then he goes on to talk about how he was killed there and how it's your flag now for the American people to keep it up. And right in front of you, he transforms into his Union outfit and just disappears. And it was amazing. Ooh. Yeah, it was a hologram. It looked like it was a real dude. You weren't expecting that.
Now you just ruined it for everybody.
Yes, I ruined it for everybody, but you got to see it.
Spoiler alert.
You got to see it. You won't believe your eyes. But Lincoln was an amazing man, guys. I've always researched him. Got the beard to prove it. I always admired him, and I got to finally go down there. Lived here all my life, 3 hours from the place, never went. And it's just like Gettysburg. I mean, you walk out on that field of Gettysburg, you can just feel the emotion and everything there. So it was really cool. He sits in a quiet little crypt, and there was some idiot. So we're walking through this tomb. Everybody's kind of quiet, and they're asking questions to the curators and stuff, and the gravekeepers, and they're telling you the stories. And all of a sudden, I walk around the corner, and there's this Asian gentleman, and he's wearing a hat at Lincoln's tomb, which I found disrespectful, inside his tomb, and he's wearing like a members-only jacket, and these real tight blue jeans and some big, nasty tennis shoes, and he's playing Cold November Rain on his cell phone. Just blaring it and staring at this statue of Abraham Lincoln. And I walk around him, and, my kids are with me, and I just kind of stare at him in his face, and he just kept staring at this Lincoln statue. And I was going to say something to him, but I figured I would go into a kung fu shuffle and be in a fight in Lincoln's tomb. I've always done that in the past. You always say something, and I'll be the one that's getting arrested, But,
oh, Sean.
Yeah, it was rude. What do you think? Would you walk in?
I find it rude, too. Disrespectful. I mean, graveyards and tombs, each person experiences them in their own way. So he might not have meant it to be disrespectful,
True.
But I can understand how it's not appropriate when at a public location like that where other people are trying to enjoy the atmosphere as well.
Right, and he's just sitting there, pooping on everybody's right to enjoy the whole experience. He's just there going, and playing the, stupid, I mean, Guns N' Roses is a great band, but there's a time and a place, my friend. I mean, it could have been like an old... I would understand if I'd have walked around the corner and it would have been like a Union, a Union song or something from that era. But, yeah, no way, dude. No way. No way.
Gray's playing on bagpipes. That you would have accepted.
Yeah. Anyway, Shadow Nation, that was my weekend. Nathan, did you have anything with your weekend?
You got to go and experience the mystery and the marvel of our past government, and I got to deal with the horror and hand-raking of our current government because I started working on my taxes.
Oh, God.
And it made me think, what does my tax money go to?
Well, it's to pay for your government's mills.
Well, here you go. I came up with the 10 most ridiculous things. I got this off of foramerica.org.
Okay.
The 10 most ridiculous things you didn't know your tax money was going towards.
Oh, that's a good one. I want to hear this.
Okay. Number 1. $384,949 was spent on a federal study that looked into the plasticity of duck penis length.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh, my God. You are kidding.
Okay. So almost $1 million, or almost $400,000 there, going to see the plasticity in duck penis length.
Wow.
Okay. $1 million went to New York to put in road signs telling drivers they are spending money on road projects.
And by road projects, we mean the signs telling you that you're spending money on road projects. Okay, great.
$15,000 went to an artist so that he could build a model home out of cardboard and then burn it down.
Really?
Remember, $15,000 of your money.
Wow.
Okay. Number 4, $3.4 million of your tax money went to the state of Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
For underground turtle tunnels.
Okay.
So that turtles can cross the road without getting hit by cars. Now, you know me, Sean. I'm an animal lover.
Yeah.
But, a couple of guys with a jackhammer and a pipe could have taken care of that, don't you think?
I think so.
$1.4 million Number 5, $1.4 billion. Excuse me, $1.54 billion
Jesus, man.
of your money paid for the Obama family's housing, flying, and entertainment.
Entertainment, huh?
$1.4 billion of our tax dollars went to the Obama family's housing, flying, and entertainment. So, for my money, when does Beyonce stop by my house?
Yeah. You're paying for it.
It's number 6.
Yeah.
$386,000 of your tax dollars went towards the study and effect of massage therapy on rabbits.
Oh, wow.
On rabbits.
That's amazing. Yeah,
I would have volunteered for a study of massage therapy. They could have done it for me for free.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Number 7, $1 million of the State Department went to the State Department to buy a sculpture of a granite block made up of smaller granite blocks.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, I support art, but
not at my expense.
$835,000.
Yeah.
$50 million of your money for the IRS conference in 2010 and 2012, which included a $14 million conference in sunny California.
Yeah.
So $50 million so that the IRS agents could meet at a conference in California. 50, wow. Not 15, 50.
Wow.
You might want to bring that up, Sean, at your next audit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And number 10, $398,990 of your money to conduct a study to see if the Tea Parties are dumb. The Tea Partiers are dumb. So I didn't see the Tea Party people putting $400,000 out to do a study on, other people. So
that's amazing, dude. That is amazing.
I'm a Republican and I don't go for the Tea Party stuff, but you really had to do spend $400,000 on that. So that's where your tax dollars are going, Sean. Yeah, well, just so you know when you sign that check next week.
Yeah, I don't sign a check, but that is just stupid, man. I mean, my God, somebody should step in there. I mean, there's not like there's starving people in the streets of America or anything,
Yeah, I mean, we really need to study the results of massage therapy on rabbits.
Yes, because they need the massages. They work so hard all day, Jesus, man, that's killing me. Hey, did you hear about Hillary today?
I did not.
Hillary has officially thrown her hat in the ring.
Oh, there are Republicans with their hair standing up on end all over America.
Oh, boy. Hillary Clinton is introduced as at a campaign stop in Fort Madison, Iowa during her first presidential campaign. Yeah.
Well, it's not her first. She tried last time.
In the Senate, she reached across the aisle, but the old ways there are no more. The Hillary Clinton record. Anyway, she says, in the lead up to Hillary Clinton's announcement of her second campaign for the Democratic presidential nomination, much has been made about how dramatically the world has changed since she launched her first bid for the White House in January 2007. Nonetheless, she has agreed and will run. There you go.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and the
now
guys...
the question, Sean, is who are they going to get to run against her?
Oh, wow.
Because this could be the funniest...
Yeah.
This could be the funniest election campaign in history, depending on who they get to run against.
Well, it can't be this idiot Pence from Indiana because he did that religious freedom law a couple weeks ago. That was career suicide. I mean, even if the guy was trying to do right, which he was, in my opinion, just the bill wasn't worded right, which they changed within a week. To word it right with exclamation marks, I guess, saying, hey, this doesn't mean you can discriminate against people for their sex or religion. But it's career suicide. He should know that most of the American people, and I love America. I'm a patriot, and I love my brothers and sisters of the United States. But a lot of people, and we know this, Nathan, doing advertisement for the show and everything else, they read the top line of the sentence, and it has to be short and sweet. They will not go into the whole fine print. They just won't do it. They just they just figure, well, I'm not going to understand it. And, he's committed career suicide. So I see Pence, he's supposed to, from Indiana, throw his hat in the ring to run against her, but I don't see much out of there. So.
Well, and of course, there are people who say that despite the bridge scandals in New Jersey, Chris Christie might run, Governor Chris Christie, and he's a very charismatic man.
Yeah.
But, he's got that whole bridge scandal history behind him.
Yeah.
So will that keep him out of the ring?
I don't know.
So just don't know. I do hope that a governor runs, because I have felt in the past that we get a better result in the presidency, whether it is a Democrat or a Republican, that you get a better result from a president if they were a governor. Yeah. Because a governor is used to making decisions, where a congressman is used to setting up committees.
Right.
And things happen when you have a guy go from governor to president. And when you have someone go from Congress to president, things happen real slow, and we need some stuff to happen fast.
Yes, we do. I think it's a shame that we can't reach from the blue-collar, working American class, middle class, and find a presidential candidate. I think it's insane.
Sean Burris for president.
Absolutely. Why not? I don't want the job. I wish if I had the training and the set of mindset that I needed, I would absolutely love to lead America or help United States do whatever it needs to do. But, there has to be a group of people or citizens. There's many billions of citizens that are qualified to be president of the United States, and they go work as a plumber every day. They've had college education, whatever, but they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get their... I mean, when they had Romney and some other guys running for president, and they're asking about the price of gas and groceries, and they couldn't answer, that should automatically disqualify. How can you represent a people and not understand what they're going through? I don't understand this, and we just...
Well, to be fair, Mitt didn't know the price of gas, but he did know how much he paid his chauffeur every week.
Well, that's true. How much to tip at a 5-star restaurant? Wow. It's just amazing, man. We don't do politics on this show, but now it's coming up. It's just such... I mean, I forget. We covered on the show how much it costs to throw your hat in the ring for president.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, look at when... Steve from... the Comedy Central show. Steve Carell?
Yeah, Carell. Yeah.
Ran, and he was going to run under the Republican ticket, but it was like $50,000.
Yeah.
To put his name in the ring, and so he ran under the Democratic ticket. He's a Democrat anyway, but it was all part of his what he was doing for the show, and just because he does have a way of speaking his mind. Yeah. And I guess it's a good thing they got him out of the race, because I think he would have won.
Yeah, I think he might have. I think
I think we would have been better off.
I think we would be shocked, and I think the people on Capitol Hill understand, or the people in Washington understand, that they would not be shocked if somebody, a blue-collar, everyday American, got a chance to run for president. And I think
and unfortunately, it's all about the money that backs them. I mean...
It is. It's about the party. It's dirty, and it's got money all over it. I mean, everything does. But, we deserve a leader, man, and we just haven't had a one for a while,
Yep.
Anyway, hey, if we don't have anything else on this crap from politics, you ready for this one?
I'm always ready.
Shadow Nation, listeners around the world, it's time for G&D Show in the News.
In the news?
Wait, that's tonight's guest. G&D Show in the News. It's always fresh. It's always exciting. It's weird and strange. Matter of fact, it's today's strange news, and it's straight from the G&D Show vaults, and it starts right now. I need to rehearse that more.
We do. But hey, folks, if you're listening just now and you've never listened to the GhostMan and Demon Hunter in the news before, this is weird news. News Sean and I pick right out of the papers because we like the titles. And this is also the G&D drinking game, because every time we make a mistake, you take a drink. And you're going to drink quite a lot, because we don't read the news beforehand. Like I said, all we read is the titles. So get ready for some drinking. Of course, if you're listening to us while driving your car, or plan to drive your car, or plan to do anything important later on, please Listen responsibly.
And when you hear this bell, it means drink. Yeah,
I didn't buy the bell.
I got the bell.
Ah.
First up to bat tonight from the G&D Show vaults, these 5-foot lizards are eating Florida's cats.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it comes from the magazine The Week. The reporter Megan DeMari. Thanks, Megan. Anyway, it says, Florida, the home of sun, sand, and cat-eating lizards. What's next? Anyway,
Didn't we just cover like giant snails there last year?
Yeah.
Now they've got lizards.
Florida's getting crazy, man. State wildlife officials are increasing the hunt for Nile monitor lizards, which can grow more than 5 feet long. Officials believe thousands of Nile monitor lizards are loose in Florida, and they've recently begun terrorizing Palm Beach County. Since July 2014, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has caught 20 Nile monitor lizards. But they've got plenty more to go, it says, huh?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Nile monitor lizards aren't native to Florida. They're actually found in Africa, but the lizards have made their way to Florida through the exotic pet trade. Hey, thanks guys for that. Unfortunately, Florida's warm climate has been a natural fit for the lizards, and they've been eating local wildlife, including owls and reptiles, as well as cats. They've been eating... They've been eating gigantic snails. No, I added that. The Sun Sentinel reported that if you needed another reason to not release any exotic pet into the wild, it doesn't get much more terrifying than this. Eating your cats, everybody. Big fat lizards.
Well, this story rolls right into that one, Sean.
Oh.
In Tokyo,
Yeah.
Godzilla has officially been made Tokyo's tourist ambassador.
Oh.
See that?
Yeah.
So being a giant lizard can pay off.
Okay.
Maybe next thing you know, the giant lizards in Florida will become Florida's ambassadors.
The reptilian.
Fire-breathing, building-stomping Godzilla was welcomed in part of a Tokyo on Thursday.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ring the bell. As
Great
a
guys.
sign of prosperity, not destruction.
Yeah.
The monster was appointed the special resident and tourist ambassador
What's going on?
for, get ready with that bell, Sean,
Yes.
Shinjuku
One.
word. Now, for its down home bars, known, go ahead. Known
Two.
For its down home bars and noodle restaurants.
Noodle.
A Godzilla-sized head
Yeah.
towering 52 meters, or 171 feet,
Yeah.
above ground level was unveiled at the office of Toho in Japan. The studio behind the 1954 original... Oh, Toho was shooting... Was that the name of the guys who started the Godzilla movies?
Tahu?
Toho.
I'm sure there was one of them in there.
Yep. Tahu is shooting a comeback film this year
He's coming back.
after a decade-long hiatus.
He's coming back.
There you go. Godzilla is a standing icon and has had his ups and downs, but the statue has been redesigned after the Hollywood Godzilla, directed by Garth Edwards,
Yeah.
who has become a global hit last year.
Garth.
So there you go.
That was pretty good. I like that one.
And people got to drink a lot because
Yeah.
I was reading the news.
Not a lot. SF Man. You ready for this one?
Okay.
Third up to bat. SF Man acquitted of apartment burglary. Excuse me. He thought he was in a spaceship. Do that again. SF Man, I guess San Francisco man, acquitted of apartment burglary. He thought he was in a spaceship.
Really?
Yeah, here we go. Good friends at Huffington Post.
Did you ring the bell for people to drink there
Oh
with
yeah,
you, Sean?
drink, guys. I messed up the title. Said I didn't really mess it up. SF. It says SF. I just imagined. Anyway, Huffington Post. Thanks, guys. Here we go. It makes sense when you think about it. Maybe. A San Francisco man accused of burglarizing an apartment last May was acquitted earlier this week after his attorney successfully argued that the suspect was actually attempting to board a spaceship he thought was on its roof. Huh. This is going to be epic. Good story. Public defender Jeff, get ready to drink, Adachi Drink, guys. I don't make that many mistakes. Take 2. Give you a minute to get those down. Told the court that Santonio Avils, 41, was suffering meth-induced psychosis and believed the end of the world was nigh. It's a fancy word for near. CBS San Francisco reported on this anyway. Avils, just in case, somehow convinced a resident of the building to let him into the complex. Once inside, he climbed onto the fire escape and found an open window that he used to enter an apartment and take a short nap. When Avils awoke, he threw an inflatable exercise ball into the fire escape, figuring he could use it as a transportation into the next galaxy. This guy was gone. He also stole a backpack from the apartment and loaded it with a passport and earthquake kit.
You're going into outer space. What do you need an earthquake kit for?
He's afraid of the Earth. Maybe you want to hand it off to an alien visiting us, huh? I don't know.
There you go. It was a present.
It was a peace offering. The passport was Avils. Oh God, messing up that name. It belonged to a woman who, like him, had long dark hair. He testified that he believed the passport would ensure his seat on the spaceship. I
wonder how much fun that arrest was.
Oh my God, it must have been. It must have been great.
You know, the cops come in and they walk in, and he's probably sitting there on the sofa going, "You can't have my seat, man. I already pre-registered for this seat.
Yeah, dude.
I'm on this flight. You can't take me off."
I said first class. I think he said that. I said first class. Anyway, Scotty beamed me up. I couldn't find it. At some point, while Avils was getting ready to leave Earth forever, the apartment resident and his girlfriend woke up to see a strange man in their home. The resident tackled Avils and began punching while the woman hit the suspect with a baseball bat. That's no way to treat a
passenger?
A galaxy visitor, traveler, whatever. Then the pair called 911 after they gave him a good butt whooping. Anyway, Avils suffered a black eye and various bruises, scratches, and scrapes, according to the release. The man who lived in the apartment suffered an injured toe and developed a rash from the encounter. Lawsuit. Your Honor, I suffer from rash. Consequently, his girlfriend also had a rash. Oh! Anyway. During the trial, public defender Jacku Wilson, hold on, I gotta fix the bell. Jacku Wilson argued that Avils did not enter the building to rob or hurt anyone, but was suffering a meth-induced mental health crisis, according to the San Francisco Times. The defense included a testimony from an expert witness who explained that symptoms, an expert witness, he was...
I love that being high on meth is now a legitimate... excuse to break into somebody's home.
So whatever I do, I was high, Your Honor. I was high. Let me go. The defense included testimony from an expert witness who explained the symptoms of meth psychosis include delusions, paranoia, and hallucinations. The defense worked. Avils was acquitted of robbery, attempted robbery, assault with force, drink up guys, likely to produce great bodily injury, and battery with serious bodily injury. If convicted, he would have faced 14 years behind bars. Avils was found guilty of misdemeanor battery and assault, according to the San Francisco Sun-Times. So I hope you get...
I'm sorry, he still broke into the house. He's still broken in.
Well, they got him for a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So if you break into someone's house...
make sure you're on meth.
Yeah, make sure you guys are high on something.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. Hey, Sean, real quick one here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we didn't do a show last week.
No, we didn't.
It was Easter.
It was Easter.
And you know, the Easter bunny brings candy.
Yeah.
But the Easter bear just eats it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good grief.
I know. The Easter bunny's played out and probably has been eaten by the Easter bear.
Oh.
This comes to us from Weird News on the Huffington Post.
Uh-huh.
Caroline Tidwell of Eastern Florida woke up on Friday to see a 300 to 400 pound black bear relaxing in her living room.
Oh my God.
NBC2 reported Tidwell initially was afraid the bear was chowing down on her cats.
Possibly.
At least it wasn't a giant lizard. But it turned out that the only thing the animal was consuming in her home was the family's Easter candy. The sugar-addled
Hey,
bear
boo-boo.
fled the scene, only to break in again the next morning
Yeah.
while the window was open and she just banged on pots. I have a bell there, Sean. Just banged on pots and said, "Go away, bear."
Go
And it went
away.
away.
Go away,
She
bear.
told NBC too.
You just wanted.
Sometimes bears don't leave as easily. In September, a family camping in Utah was trapped inside their trailer for 2 hours by a unwanted bear guest.
Yeah.
I grew up in a town that we didn't have a bear issue until years later. Once they told us we couldn't hunt them anymore, the bears became an issue.
Right.
It's true. And, this just goes to show
They're everywhere.
bears and people don't mix.
Mix.
Don't believe those Yogi Bear shows you watched as kids, folks. They're not that friendly.
Don't believe in the.
But that's it for me, Sean.
That's it, guys. That was G&D show in the news. Demon Hunter, you know what time it is. The segment that everybody knows and love, guys. It's a... Yeah, you hear that music, huh? You hear the music,
Dun,
Demon
dun,
Hunter?
dun, dun.
You hear the music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. That's very suspenseful. I like it. Anyway, guys, G&D original series. For you guys who don't know what original means, it means Nathan and myself made it up. That's right. Where each week we cover the globe to find you the latest and greatest in monsters and legends and myths across this great land. Tonight's Legend X is...
The White River Monster.
Ooh, and if you guys don't know where this takes place, look at the girl's panties on the page right now. If you're looking, it says Arkansas. I want to be thorough on this show.
You are very good at that, Sean.
She's wearing Arkansas panties.
Hey, Sean, the legend of the White River Monster.
Oh.
The White River Monster is a legendary large creature reported first on the banks of the White River near Newport in northeastern Arkansas.
Oh.
Although reported in the past as a monster,
Okay.
it is reported to be a deeply loved by the neighborhood residents near the this portion of White River, and the monster is referred to as Whitey.
That's racist. Can't say that.
Wouldn't you know it? We would get a racist
A
monster.
racist monster.
Anyway, the legend of the White River Monster begins in the town of Newport in northeast Arkansas. In 1915, local farmers began filing reports of a large unknown creature off the banks of the White River.
Oh.
In July 1937, a key eyewitness account described the creature as having gray skin and being as wide as a car and 3 cars long.
That's big, buddy.
Yeah, that's very big. A county depot said that, a county deputy said the creature itself looked like a large sturgeon or a catfish.
Yes.
Now, I've watched these catfish shows, Sean. There are some pretty big catfish, but I've never seen one 3 cars long.
Yeah, not 3 cars long.
Yeah, I mean, sturgeon get big too, but...
Yeah, they do.
But the White River Monster returns in when it was sighted in 1971.
Okay.
That year, eyewitnesses who encountered the creature described it as the size of a boxcar,
Okay.
with a bone protruding from its forehead. It looks as though it was the skin was peeling away,
Okay.
but it was smooth type skin, like and flesh. One said. So it's peeling away at the head, but smooth like skin and flesh.
Well, like reptile losing its skin.
Yeah. Maybe it was a giant lizard eating cats.
That doesn't happen. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. And it made strange noises that sounded like a combination of a cow and a horse a cow's moo and a horse's neigh.
Okay.
That's a new one. I've never gotten that one before.
An Aiden Moon?
A Mooney. It's a Mooney.
It's a Mooney Neigh. Get that? I said Mooney Neigh. I beat you.
Other reports
I did, don't worry
came from the White River area that it had 3 toes that were about 14 inches long.
What?
Yeah. Following reports in 1973 by the Arkansas state legislator, created the White River Monster Refuge, making it illegal for you to kill the White River Monster. So
Scotty,
I guess it's a protected crypto species now.
Right.
According to scientists, the White River Monster is most likely a mistaken identity. Cryptozoologist and biologist Roy P. McKell has suggested that the creature is a clear-cut instance of a known aquatic animal outside its normal habitat. I don't understand.
Scotty, beat me.
Yes, well, if you keep doing that, I'm going to keep making mistakes.
Don't say that. Don't blame it on the bumper.
Yeah, that's not a bumper. That's just a hack.
It's a hack shit.
McKell believes that the creature is in fact a large male elephant seal.
Yeah.
That probably wandered up the Mississippi River into the White River, measuring around 5,000 pounds and 14 feet in length.
Okay.
Male elephant seal shares many of the same characteristics by those that have been reported as the gray-skinned three-toed monster. So there you go, Sean, the White River Monster.
One-eyed.
I tried to skip over like a bunch of stuff there,
Flying purple
and I lost my place.
Did I notice that I mentioned that the girls' panties say Arkansas on them?
Yes, you mentioned that a few times.
Just wanted to make sure. What do you think, Demon Hunter? Next,
I don't think we're going to check out the White River Monster, Sean.
You don't think regular night crawlers?
I honestly think that when you have a cryptozoologist / biologist who figures it out that fast, that you probably can go with that report. I could see it being a male elephant seal.
Why does it have to be a male?
Because they're larger.
Oh.
And it would make it would match the reports that were made.
Could be a fat chick. Fat chick seal. Do you call seals chicks?
No, you don't.
I don't know. What do you think? This week in history?
You call a female seal a cow, Sean.
Cow. This week in history or Walking Dead one more time?
Walking Dead.
You heard the man. That's right, guys. You hear the music. Maybe you don't. It's kind of low. Now you hear the music. It's from the show we all know and love that wrapped up. It's season 5, grand finale, last Sunday. Boy, was it a good one. Was it the best? Was it the best that I've seen? But it was,
You didn't think so?
No, it wasn't the best, but I did like it. Guys, each week we cover what's happening new and old on that favorite show we all love, The Walking Dead. Tonight, episode of Rot Talk.
Rat Talk.
You're waiting on me to say it. I was going to let you say it.
I appreciate it.
Anyway,
I usually follow you up on that.
Nathan, this is a very exciting time for us Walking Dead fans. Ask me why. Go ahead.
Why, Sean?
Well, because usually we have to wait from spring, where the first season of Walking Dead usually wraps up, till October to get our Walking Dead fix again, but not no more, my friend.
No?
No.
Tell me more.
Midsummer. Coming new this Midsummer. The new Walking Dead spin-off, Fear the Walking Dead, guys, starts up.
Well, what's that going to be about?
That's going to be about another group of survivors in Los Angeles.
I thought that was going to be about
Fearing the Walking Dead.
The prequel to The Walking Dead. What happened during when the outbreak actually started?
Okay, tell us more. Yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be about.
I'm just saying that's the image that I got from watching the commercial.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know, man. They're going to have to be careful with this one. You know what I mean? They're going to have to be very careful because if they overplay their cards here, I know they've already made a fortune off this, Darabont and all those guys, but if they overplay their cards, I'm thinking they might kill both shows at the same time.
Well, also, when you're dealing with something like this, they usually start a prequel.
Yeah.
Because they want to explain some things that people might have questions about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my question about The Walking Dead has always been, how is it that they keep finding cars that will start 3 years later when I can't get gasoline to last 3 months in a can? Because of all the ethanol they put in gasoline now. So when the Walking Dead outbreak started, did they pass a law taking the ethanol out of the gasoline so the gasoline is lasting longer now?
I don't know.
I'd like to know that kind of thing. But the thing is, when you do a prequel like this, you have also the issue of you're going to make rules. Mm-hmm. You're liable to say something that now you have to stick to from that time on in both series.
Both, yeah.
You know, if they say that everybody's infected, well, we know that from the current show. Yeah. But if they say that once you've had the disease for 5 years, you die anyway, well, you've just put a time limit on the show that we're watching now. This
is true. Unless they could always throw in some mutated, chemically whatever zombie, you know?
That's very true.
We'll find out. But anyway, Demon Hunter, I found this from The Hollywood Reporter. Fear the Walking Dead Season 1 to feature a character from The Walking Dead Season 1.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Following the conclusion of The Walking Dead's brilliant 5th season, fans are eagerly anticipating the debut of spin-off series Fear the Walking Dead. We could be about to see a crossover. We could be about ready to see a crossover between the two shows. The Walking Dead Season 5 finally wrapped up last month with Conquer, its critically acclaimed finale episode. Following a confrontation with Pete, Jesse's abusive husband, and Alexandra's resident surgeon, Rick was given permission by Dina to execute him. I guess we didn't read the disclaimer, did we? Execute him at point-blank range. After the murder, Reg, his drunken rage, the episode concluded with Morgan's arrival in the safe zone, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read too much of that.
I think we said spoiler alert enough times at the beginning of the show, but just remember, folks, we're going to talk about everything Walking Dead, so it's spoiler alert.
Yeah. Anyway, it says, before Season 6 premieres this fall, fans can look forward to another heart dose of zombie action in the form of spin-off series Fear the Walking Dead, which is set to debut this summer. According to The Hollywood Reporter, viewers are likely to be treated to a blast from the past in the form of a character from a key episode of The Walking Dead's first season.
What was Merle doing in California?
I don't know. But this is interesting. It might not be a whole new cast. You might start seeing at the very beginning when the team split up. Yeah, going back to their hometowns. Of course, they couldn't all just die. We assumed that without Rick, they'd all die. But it says, according to the source, initial scripts for the series feature a character from Season 1 of the original show, which aired for 6 episodes in the fall of 2010. It remains to be seen whether the role will develop as a Fear the Walking Dead progress or whether the character will merely be guest starring. With AMC still yet to confirm the rumor, in other crossover news, it was recently rumored that a character from The Walking Dead's upcoming spinoff, Fear the Walking Dead, will be appearing on the show's 6th season. But we're still waiting on official word from the network. So what do you think of the speculation? Question mark. Do you think a crossover between the two shows is a good idea, or should Fear the Walking Dead be completely separate from its predecessor?
Oh man, well, you know, if you got a company like this and you get fans and people start to follow Fear the Walking Dead,
yeah,
I think that the crossover will be a good thing.
Yeah, I think so, and I think people will feel comfortable. They're going to have to go back in the past a little bit, but they'll feel more comfortable and more accepting because automatically they're going to say, "Oh, I like that guy from Season 1. I want to see, what happened to him." So I think it's a good idea, man. I really do. Anyway. It's Rot Talk, guys, for this week. That'll be our last one. I don't know. We're going to have to talk if we want to come up with Fear the Walking Dead. I'm sure they'll have their own new theme song and everything.
We'll have Fear Talk. Fear Talk. Fear Talk.
Demon Hunter, the hour is up on us. We have a very special guest out in the hallway.
Brother, before we do that,
yeah.
I know I said we were going to do Walking Dead instead of this week in history, but I have to point one thing out about today.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
Since you did go to Lincoln's tomb, and we are fans of Gettysburg. Today is April 12th, which means today, in history, in 1861, this was the first day of the Civil War.
Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was the bloodiest 4 years in American history.
Yeah.
The battle under General PGT, and I always say this name wrong, but Beauregard, there we go, opened fire on the Union-held Fort Sumter in South Carolina.
Right.
And during the next 34 hours, 50 Confederate guns and mortars launched more than 4,000 rounds at a poorly supported fort. And on April 13th, tomorrow, in 1861, Major Robert Anderson surrendered the fort. And 2 days later, President Lincoln issued a proclamation calling 75,000 volunteers, soldiers, to quell the Southern insurrection. So today, the day that they fired on Fort Sumter, the beginning of the Civil War, Sean.
Well, we did do a day in history.
There you go.
You threw that in there, and we only kept Dano waiting about 9 minutes.
Well, there you go. Well, he said he might have to call in a little late anyway, so we can go to break and give him a buzz.
He's going through our fridge right now. Tonight's guest, guys. If you're just joining us, Shadow Nation. Tonight's guest, he's an American stand-up comedian, actor, musician, playwright, and filmmaker. He's also a voice artist, guys. He won the 2005 Tony Award for the Best Featured Actor in a musical, the 25th Putnam County Spelling Bee. He's also been in Fanboys. Huh? I love Fanboys. Balls of Fury, Kung Fu Panda.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda and much more. He's writing some books. He's wrote a book, and he's also working on a comic book thing. And we'll all talk about that tonight with Mr. Dan Fogler. He's a wild man. I love the guy to death. I really do.
I thought he was very calm and quiet and nice when we spoke to him earlier.
I don't know. Anyway,
he was a very thoughtful gentleman.
He was so thoughtful. We'll see how thoughtful he is tonight. Anyway, guys, each week on the Walking Dead, each week on the G&D show, GhostMan Demon Hunter Show, make sure you can check us out, guys, all our stuff at www.ghostanddemon.com. That's the original home, the only home of the Ghostman and Demon Hunter Show, and you can get in chat each week. If you're not in there tonight, you're going to feel bad because you can't get your questions in for Dan. But that's okay, guys. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Ghostman and Demon Hunter Show. Okay, tonight's band, our independent band, is Vince Mirror, is the artist. Name of the song, I'm Going Back Home. It's the live version, Demon Hunter.
Ooh.
Shadow Nation. Nathan. Demon Hunter.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
We'll be right back.
Yes, I'm leaving now, I'm a-going home. I don't like it here anymore. I've had enough of all your cries and moans. I don't work for you, no, I'm a-going back home. Well, hold me down, don't you let me go. I'm awaiting that whistle blow. I've had way too long since you've been gone. I can't wait to hear the sound of those tracks on the ground. I can hear her call me all night and day. Almost time till I see my pay. It's been way too long since you've been gone. But it's okay, don't stray, I'm on my way. Yes, my guitar cries, well, the night arrives. Winter comes at the worst of times. But no bad weather winds are gonna keep me in. I got my mind set on go, try to stop me, here I go. Tell your friends, my dear, that your daddy's here. Tell the doctor to jump and cheer. Let them know down the road that the man is near. Keep your eyes open wide, let them know I'm alive.
creeps, it's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to the GhostMan and Demon Hunter Show.
Hey, welcome back, Shadow Nation, to the one, the only mystifying oracle of radio, your Ghostman and Demon Hunter show. Tonight's guest, he's known as the Wild Man, the Crazy Man of Hollywood, Dan Fogler. He's an American stand-up comedian, actor, musician. Oh, I messed that up right off the bat. Playwright, filmmaker, and voice artist. He won the 2005 Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a musical for the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. He was the voice of Zeng in Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu Panda Holiday. Please welcome Dan to the studio. Dan, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man? Woo!
I'm just crashing intros. That's what I do.
I just think, Sean, we got to stop having drinking contests before the show. That's all.
I did
Dan.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Dan's
Maybe.
drunk.
Well, it's like Mad Men in the green room.
Ooh.
People are just walking around with scotches, beer hats.
Well, yeah. That's how we get down on the show, baby. We're highfalutin. You know?
Hey, you know, I just learned what highfalutin means. You want to know what that means?
Yeah, tell me, because I've been saying it for years. I have no idea. I just know it
You have
sounds
no
cool.
idea, right?
It just sounds cool, flute.
Yeah, well, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to curse, am I?
I don't know. We can beep it out.
We can bleep it in the mix.
Wonderful.
Beep.
Okay, so you have to get these things straight. But so the highfalutin comes from the Mississippi River, where I think you had these like boats with the big smokestacks on them,
Right.
that were releasing all sorts of smoke, and they made them. They were called flutes,
Yeah.
and they were shaped like a flute, and they were like high because they had to be above enough so the people who were sitting on the boat weren't getting a face full of smoke.
Right.
And then like people who were on the shore who were watching the people who had all the money on the boats, they were like, "Oh, here, absolutely."
Oh.
That's where it came from, man.
Dude. And they took that. Some dude took that and coined that phrase. I'm going to call this chick highfalutin, or this dude. That's crazy.
No one knows what. We say so many things every day, we don't know what the hell it comes from.
No, we don't, man. I need something like that in my life. I was talking to you a little bit before the show, and we are children. Nathan is too, but he's older than both of us. I'm selling you out, Nathan. We are children of the 70s. I'm talking weekend cartoons on Saturday. I'm talking Friday night, late night horror host. I'm talking ABC weekend specials, baby. What was it like for a young Dan growing up, man, in Brooklyn, New York? You know what I'm saying? What was it like? Was it the same as all of us? Were you a super kid? Tell us all about it. How'd you get involved?
Did your mom make you come back in when the lights turned on out on the street?
Or did you rebel?
Yeah, dude. I had that curfew, man. Man. You hear all the parents just be like, you know, "Hey, come inside! Angelo, get your ass in here!" You know, like all the different types of voices that would be screaming for their kids to come home. Yeah, man. There were a lot of kids, and we played outside a lot. I had a ton of friends, and we just got into like a crap load of trouble on the suburban streets of Brooklyn. I was out pretty east in Bergen Beach, and we also had that was like the rage of BMX bikes. Everybody had a BMX bike.
Oh yeah,
just like tooling with no helmet, tooling around the neighborhoods and wreaking havoc. And I grew up on those streets, and I learned a lot at a very young age. Man, it was intense. I'll probably write a book about it someday.
I just posted a blog that I found about like 26 reasons why everybody from born in the 70s should be dead now. You know,
Yeah.
riding
I
around
could've
on our
died.
bikes with no helmets
That was
on.
nuts.
If you
Yeah,
if you saw somebody with a helmet riding a skateboard or a bike, you figured there was something
They
a
were
little
a wuss.
mentally wrong with them.
Exactly. Exactly. They must have hit their head too many times. You know, now they have to wear it.
They must be
Now they
missing a
have to
part
wear
of their
it.
skull, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, I had 9 lives as a kid. I should have died many, many times, gotten many death-defying situations. And, you know, thank God I had a lot of friends around me who were able to, like, pull me out of frozen lakes and stuff like that.
Right.
But, yeah, you know, yeah, we did crazy shit. It was curious. It was fun. I loved Bart Simpson. I was like, oh my God, he's me. You know, I was a very, like, curious, crazy, just like, you know, I was the class clown but I like to get in trouble, you know, you know, so, and comic books and toys and, you know, G.I. Joes and stacks of comic books and Saturday morning cartoons and
Star Wars.
and you know, and everything that, and all those people now are selling the stuff, you know, so it's fucking great now.
Fortune.
You know, we have a million Avengers movies, and you know, we have all of these. Every comic book that comes out, it has to become something. You know, it's like,
You know,
it's like,
I think it's crazy too that, you know, you get to play all these wild and crazy characters, like peeling out in cars and jumping off of like cliffs or whatever you do, and then but I think that comes from our growing up in the 70s, that this is something we do, you know, to
Dukes of Hazzard.
the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, because we grew up watching the Dukes and Hazzards jump their car. We'd stay up late and watch Chevy Chase fall down the stairs, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering,
exactly.
I'm just wondering, in like 20 years, you know, you're going to see actors wearing helmets on screen because they might get hurt if they fall down.
Right. It's just everyone. It's just like politically correctness with their minds and their bodies, and everything is just like fragile, and everyone is just a little tulip.
Oh, that's it. And you coming out being so controversial. I mean, you know, there's been many people love you. I know I do, and because you're you, man. And I've said it 100 times. You're the kind of guy that people see on the screen and go, "Yep, let's go get a 6-pack and go party with this dude." You know, you're approachable, man, in real life and on the screen. You know, have you ever taken any heat in real life for anything you've done, any of the projects you've worked on?
Any heat?
Yeah, from like, you know, the Jewish community or anybody like that might be offended from anything at all that you might have done. They say, you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah, no one's really come up to me and said, you shouldn't have porked that grapefruit in good luck. You know, and I wish they did. Right.
I wish somebody had curbed me just a little.
You said, I'm Jabba the Hump. I'm Jabba the Hump. Remember that?
Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, I don't know. I've only gotten pretty positive stuff. You know, it was weird. I mean, people on the street, you know, come up to you. I usually get smiles and stuff like that. People are mean on Twitter, that's for sure. People are just bastards.
Oh, we know all about that.
But that's, you know, it's easy on Twitter. On Twitter, because you know, you don't have to show your face. You don't have to do anything. You can just sling the bullshit.
Yeah.
But you know, it's that's the arena. That it's, you know, you have to have a thick skin. People say crazy stuff to me all the time. Like you know, like stuff will happen where at like a TSA thing. That's like the perfect example. I don't like to go through the crazy radiation device that they have there. So I'll often have to get a pat down, and sometimes the guy will know me, and they'll always choose the moment where they're on their knees and their hand is right up in my inseam, you know, and then they look up at me and they're just like, "Hey, are you that Californian?" You know, and like she was like, so like horrendous thing. Like, hey man, you're Jack Black, aren't you? like no, I'm not. Please get your hand out of my penis. Thank you.
Oh, Jack.
And there's some, and you just have to live with that stuff. They're going to inadvertently insult you. People lose their minds when they meet someone that they like. People, even people that like are big fans of mine, their brain goes out the window when they say like just
right,
horrendous shit. And you have to have a healthy ego, and you have to be kind of with a thick skin, like I said, in order to deal with a lot of this stuff. And so I just try to, I've acquired a philosophy of, absorb it, take it in because it's out there, and just like, it's kind of like iocane powder, you become, I
bet my life on it.
Yeah, I am immune to iocane powder. You take a little bit of the poison in, you read some of the bad stuff on Twitter, and then you're able to swim with the sharks.
It's funny what you're saying about how people lose their minds. Doing what Sean and I do, we meet a lot of people who we're big fans of. So we have to keep the fanboy glory down to a minimum. But I think only twice in my life, I just lost it. I saw somebody that I absolutely adored, and I just couldn't even bring myself to talk to him. The first time I was 16, I walk into a back room at the theater I was working in, and there's Brooke Shield playing hacky sack with my coworkers, and I was just like, I'm gonna go over here. I need a few minutes alone.
Well, she's also beautiful, so you can get sunset with that.
You can get away with that. But the other time, I was at a party that Joe Pantoliano was throwing, and Christopher Walken walks in. Yeah. And you got to work with him, but literally, it's the one time in my life I looked over and was like, I can't go talk to Christopher Walken. I can't.
Sure you can.
Yeah. I thankfully, for some reason, I had met enough of my heroes where I knew, okay, just play it cool, totally be upfront with them about, as soon as I met him, I was like, oh my God, I love you! No, you got to say something like, you're a genius, and I love everything you've ever done.
Right.
You just say something like that, and just say it in a really, off the cuff, then, you just get it off your chest, and they appreciate that, man. They want you to they just don't want you to, but sometimes you can't help it. There's a chemical reaction in your body where you're like, oh my God, I can't move my face,
I'm paralyzed.
Exactly.
You just don't walk up to him and say, can you just do a few steps from Fatboy Slim?
Yeah, exactly, man. No, it took everything in my soul to stop myself doing impressions of him when I was in his presence. and so there were times where he would come off set having just done something, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, dude! I love the part where you were just like, wah!" And then I'd have to change it into something else, and it would sound more like Michael J. Fox or something,
Yeah.
But and there would be these little circles on set where everyone would be standing around doing their walk-ins in little corners, the dark corners, and then he would walk up and everyone would be like, Jesus, and everyone would go running. And Walker would just be like, whoa, what happened? Guys, hey. And I was like, hey man, what's it like, having everybody in the world and their grandmother, being able to do an impression of you? And he's like, it's fine, just never do it on set. And he goes, it's fine, never do it before take, because I'll kill you. And I was just like, right, never do it before take. He's like, it throws me off, and he was just like, Jay Moore, he did it all the time. I wanted to kill him. He's like, oh my God. So, such a he would just give me wisdom, and I would just ask him things just to hear him talk. You know, dude, what did you think of craft service today? Because I knew he was like a chef. You know, he's like, I thought that the avocado dip was a little too tangy. You know, to say like, no, thank you, sir. So I would just say like, and the deviled eggs. Oh wow, I love them. You know, like I'm doing a terrible walking right now, but I love him. I love him so much. And,
no, it's wonderful. We're gonna cut all those clips out and pretend that we actually did an interview with Christopher. So it's
oh, awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, ask me questions about true romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to improvise at the end in that scene with Hopper. I didn't like what he said, and it made me angry, and I used it. How about that?
There you go.
That'll work. That right there. Hey, if you guys are just tuning in, we have Dan Fogler, head CEO of Tweeter, coming out this fall. Get it, Tweeter? Because you said Tweeter. I'm kidding. He's not the...
And Christopher Walken in the green room. It's, you know, I got to say, when you know, my wife does not follow my career. I wish she did.
Mine either.
But
she follows my road to death.
I woke up today, and you know, she's going off to do her volunteer work at the aquarium, and I was like, you know, I've got to do an interview this evening. And she's like, oh, who do you have? I said, Dan Fogler. And knowing my wife, I looked at her and said, you know, Balls of Fury, and he played in Kung Fu Panda. And her eyes just got as big as like saucers. She goes, he was in Kung Fu Panda?
Zang!
It's what's one of those things when you do a voiceover for a cartoon, you know, how often does that come up where people go, that was you?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, people love that. Like especially little kids, when you like bust out some crazy voice that they associate with such a specific character, and then suddenly it's in this other person, coming out of this other person. And sometimes they love it, or sometimes it just weirds them the hell out, or you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, that happens. It happens. I love doing voiceovers, and it's probably one of my favorite things. I love Mel Blanc, and I try to do as many voices as I can. If I get to do an animated movie, I'm like, is there anyone else? Is there anybody else that you want me to do in this movie? And I will do everyone. Hey, I'm the wild man. But I will do everyone in this booth right now. Let's do it. And yeah, man, that's, you know, I love doing voices.
I remember when Kung Fu Panda first came out, Dustin Hoffman went on. I think it was either Leno or one of the other shows, or you know, Letterman, and he was asked, you know, did you enjoy doing Kung Fu Panda? And he just went, no, it's not really acting. No, I didn't care for it. They put you in a booth and they say this, and you say it 6 times, and I was just like, dude. Everybody loved that movie. Don't knock it.
Yeah, and now you see Dustin Hoffman in any more animated movies? No, that's what happened.
Dano, I gotta ask you, what was the moment that you knew you made it? Was it your acceptance speech, 2005 Tony Award for your work on the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, when you did the whole Rocky on stage?
And did you spell out your acceptance speech with your foot before you gave it? It's
that was a monumental moment right there.
Yeah.
Where I was like, that was definitely when I won the Tony, and I was looking out in the audience. And everything kind of went to slow-mo, and it was surreal. And basically, the next day, I got, you know, before I won the award, I got a lot of TV offers, and then after I won the award, I got a lot of film offers, and I was like, oh, okay, all you have to do is win a Tony Award and you can break into the film business, somehow. So I was like, and then, I don't know. I know I had some kind of, for me, when I went to the Palm restaurant, which is across the street from the theater. I went to the Palm, and which is like the steakhouse. There's a chain of them, but what they do is it's like an old school steakhouse, and it's entertainer, celebrity friendly, and they put all the faces of they put the caricatures on the walls.
Famous, yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was just like, oh man, I wish one day I'd be able to have one of those. And that was their gift to me. They said, oh, you won a Tony Award, we want to put your face on, and I was just like, holy shit, I'm gonna get my face on the Palm. And for me, that was like, from a kid from growing up in New York and seeing, going to the restaurants as a kid and seeing that, and it was like a dream come true. It's been such a little silly thing, but for the kid inside of me, it was very special.
Your family, man. You've been married for a while. You got your thing going on. Did it ever get spooky? I mean, 'cause, we did a little bit of TV before in our past, and of course, the name of the game is to be able to make a living at something that you love doing. And we've had a lot of stars on you, and we've had a lot of other cats on that talk about growing up and everything like that, and how they got started cleaning out cafeterias at a work site, and then doing the theater stuff at night. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, Jesus, am I going to get paid next week, or has it ever went like that?
Oh yeah, consistently. That's the life of the artist, man. And let me tell you, it was in those moments of desperation that your mind and your body go to the next level, and you create something that will win you a Tony Award, or that's what it's about. And why people like George Lucas and Spielberg, who I love, have lost the hunger and are just amazing painters, but there's something missing, and that's the hunger, man. That's the real, all the big guys. And then they get to a point where they're like, oh shit, I've lost that thing, and then they get hungry, and that's when some amazing shit happens.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to what Spielberg does with Ready Player One. I think that's going to be incredible. Yeah, man. So I think it's just part of the territory. I've right now. Hey, man. I got a daughter, and she's 2. She's gonna be 3. And we're thinking about more. And it's hard to put food on the table. Yeah. Well, when it's not just you, and they're relying very heavily on me. And I love making comic books. It's kind of like from my childhood. It's something that I love, but I have to I can't just frivolously, because the odds that you're going to make money back on making an independent comic book is pretty low.
Moon Lake.
Moon Lake is doing pretty good. It's out there, but that was a risky venture, and it was before I had my kid, and I put out 2 volumes of Moon Lake, which is with Archaea and Boom, and that's like Twilight Zone on THC. I don't know if you guys look at that, but that's like, conspiracy theory, wet dream, everything.
It's got it all. It's got it all.
Yeah. And so I have a new book that I'm working on called Brooklyn Gladiator that you can go and support on Kickstarter right now, because this is the first time I've done a Kickstarter for anything, but it's because I have to put food on the table, and I can't just be like, yes, I'm going to just make this comic book right now to feed my creative monster in my belly. You know,
Right.
I can't just do that. So I got to get some insurance there. So
Yeah.
here I am with this Kickstarter that everyone should go out and support. But that's the way it is, man. For being an artist, you have to find ways, and being a family man, you got to find ways to quench that the creative thirst that you have.
Yeah.
But balance it with the family, and you have to make sacrifices and stuff. So I think that's the story I hear all the way on up, because it's if you think about the paychecks that talking about actors, if they have the kind of reps that everybody is supposed to have, where you have a lawyer, you have a business manager, you have a manager, and you have agents. Okay, so that's a lot of the pie, and then you have taxes. Okay, so then you're getting a lot of the time less than half of your paycheck. And then if you're working your way up, that's hard. It's really hard, man.
Oh man.
And you start to wonder, like, wait a minute, why does it work like this? And that's all the way on up to Tom Hanks, and they're all, and you see someone like Bill Murray, who's a genius, who's just like, screw representation. I don't have representation. You have to call an 800 number to find me, if you can find me. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Believe me, we know.
Because he's him. I bet Walking could do that too, but
oh yeah,
he doesn't.
I just wish that I could find Bill Murray, because he still owes me my money back from that ticket he did, or that movie he did all those years ago, where he promised I could have my money back if I didn't like the movie.
What movie was that? Garfield or something?
No, it was that's the only movie he regrets. What About Bob?
What About Bob?
He was saying that if you don't like the movie, I'll give you your money back. Of course, you can't write me or call me, but if you see me on the street and say you didn't like the movie, I'll give you your money back.
I'll give you your money back.
What About Bob was epic.
I thought he was hysterical in What About Bob. You didn't like What About Bob?
I like it now, but when I originally saw it, I was like, okay.
You were just like you were seeing it with the mindset of trying to find something so you could get.
Yeah, so back then $8 was a lot out of my budget.
I didn't like that goldfish.
Dreyfus didn't make me cry. I want my money.
I was a struggling actor at that time too. $8 was a lot.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, exactly.
Well, see, we got the whole family thing too. Nathan's married. I'm married. And I've been divorced. Now I'm remarried, and I have my 5-year-old with me, and I have my 2 boys from my ex every other weekend. So we got that little shot at TV. They found the show. We've been on there 10 years. They said, "Oh, dude, we love your little comedy acting. We want to take it, prime time, baby. Let's go look for spooks and monsters and stuff." Oh, absolutely. So we had a small stint of it. So we got to, see what you go through a little bit there for a while.
Of course, right after they hired us, they said, "We love everything. Just stop being funny."
Yeah. Yeah, take the comedy out.
Whoa.
They said comedy and scary don't mix, boys. And we said, well, that's why you found us. So, yeah, you know how it is, man. Sign here and shut up. But, I remember getting off the plane. We were filming for like 3 days somewhere, right? And you feel all good. You got the craft food services there, man. You got the nice hotel room. They're like, "Sir, we're going to need you on set. Here's your lines," and all this stuff. And then I came home and the wife goes, "You realize the grass hasn't been cut in a week." That's what
Whoa.
Yeah, that really stifled my creativeness, That's what I figured. When you were talking about that, Dano, I figured that I could see your wife going, "You and your fancy career as an actor, cut the grass."
Yeah, exactly.
Stop smoking the grass and cut the grass.
Get off my back.
I've got to ask, Dan, going back just a step to the Tony Awards. When you were going up it was Best Performer by a Feature Actor in a Musical, correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you sitting there saying, I've got to go against Spamalot? Were you practicing your "I'm happy for you" face and doing the light clap as you...
I was in the light clap. During the course of the show, I was like, dude, this is my first time on Broadway. I have to pay my dues. They're not going to give me a Tony. They don't do that. It's not just like, you know. And so I basically convinced myself over the course of watching the show. You know, I wrote a speech, I had a whole thing. I was like, maybe I could win, you know. But then while watching it, I was like, I'm not going to give it to me. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I heard my name, and then I wasn't so ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God, this is. Then because I wasn't ready for it, and maybe I wasn't ready to hear my name. You know, I was just like, are you kidding? Really? Amazing. That's amazing. I thought I just had to pay him a lot more dues. And then I think a lot of the things that I get, or things that big moments in my career, I think, or significant moments, I think that I'm always in the mindset of, it's not going to happen, so just have fun.
Yeah.
And then when you're having fun and you're not worrying about it, that's when they give it to you. They're like, yeah, that guy's good. He's confident. He knows what he's doing. He's good. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't think I was going to. And the same thing happened when I'm doing the show Secrets and Lies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a show on right now. And I was auditioning for it. And during the auditioning process, I was like, it's a 1 hour drama. They're not gonna give this part to me. They're gonna give it to somebody else, you know. So I went in there very relaxed, and I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna perform, and you know, and just make an impression. So they, you know, bring me in maybe down the line or something. And it was because I was so relaxed that they cast me, and I was just having fun, and I just continued to have fun. And
now,
yeah.
Our fans won't let us live if we don't ask you about Hannibal.
Okay. Yeah, dude.
It's crazy ride Hannibal took, because when it first started advertising, I was like, Hannibal without, who we know as Hannibal, and what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
And what an astonishing takeoff it's had, and you were in several episodes there.
Yeah, I think I had 4 or 5 episodes.
And,
forgive me if you hear some surrounding noise. I had to walk out on my patio because my daughter just came back, and she's gonna be a lunatic if she sees me.
She could be on the show. I've had to do the closet interviews.
Yeah, Sean's daughter has actually come into the studio when we've been performing and been like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, daddy." So
yeah. She's
but
like hanging on my neck, and like I'm trying, like, honey. Although that would have been funny.
See, you ruined the moment.
Wait, what were you just talking about?
I was just saying, like, everybody expected it to not really do well without Anthony Hopkins, but
Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, there's a lot of kids around here.
Throw me the ball.
That's okay. It adds to the atmosphere.
There's kids next door playing.
Hooky players.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to like a neutral area.
Oh, he's going to the restroom.
We're good, Dan. You can talk anywhere.
You just hear just mad farting, and I don't even like saying anything about it.
I gotta go to my quiet place.
I told Sean we're just going to move the studios into the restroom so we don't have to take breaks during the show.
Do it just like the Doors did the LA Woman. So Hannibal was great, man. That was like, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing a drama, and Mads is even sillier than I am in between takes. He was so, and then like it would be so funny because they say action, and then suddenly he was Hannibal, and then they say cut, and he would just be like, jumping around, and he's a very suave dude, but he's also he's got a sick sense of humor, and a lot of the Danes, he's Danish, he's from Denmark. So we had a lot to talk about there. I think he was from Copenhagen. I had been there as a kid, and so he and I got along. Even though I was playing such like a weird Franklin-y, like a Franklin character was like someone who just tries too hard to be your friend.
Yeah.
So it was like the exact opposite relationship when in between takes because we were just kind of making each other laugh.
Yeah.
It was really fun, man. And Brian Fuller, who's the writer, he was a fan of mine from Spelling Bee, and he brought me in for this. So, it all comes full circle. And so he was great. And I get a lot of great comments about that. People are really, I think it's kind of like it's impressive to be in the show because suddenly you're part of, like I'm Franklin, like I'm the guy whose head is found in Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
They find his head in a jar. And that's like, I'm like, even though it's just a head in a jar, I'm like, oh my God, I am part of the mythology.
I'm the head.
Silence of the Lambs.
Now, and at least you know how your character comes to an end now. It's they can always bring you back because you don't die until.
I was gonna say, Dan. I sure hope I don't let that head down. When you're.
Well, the head is like, I don't know if you saw it, but it's just like in Futurama, where the heads talk and they go on to become senators and stuff. So that's what happens.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. You could just keep going with that.
But see, you're an actor that has been able to do everything. How do you stop from getting typecast? Because you splash out on the screen. You do all kinds of shows like Fanboys. You do the voice for Kung Fu Panda, Horton Hears a Who, Taking Woodstock, a little bit more serious, and then Secrets and Lies up to now. How does an actor do his thing and not get typecast? How do you stay out of that, man?
I think you do get typecast, and then you have to prove yourself. And when I was in college, I did Shakespeare and Chekhov and Mammoth, and played all sorts of different dramatic and also hysterical roles and everything in between. And so, and they really prepare you for what you got, the parts you got to play. And so I'm pretty damn prepared to play all sorts of roles. And you break into the business doing one thing, and then sometimes you got to keep feeding people that same wild and crazy, in order for something to catch on, And then, but then you got to you have to switch it up, especially I consider myself a character actor, and I really think that. So that's what I'm doing now, man. That's why I did Hannibal. That's why I said, I'm not just this silly, funny, furry, fat guy. I'm, I can also be.
I am.
Well, I mean, who knows about that? But,
I'm cuddly.
We don't say fat on this show. We say husky.
Husky. Dan, it's husky.
I noticed something that, my buddy had a husky dog. Husky dogs get so much attention from the ladies. Yeah. The ladies love little puppy husky dogs.
Yeah.
The ladies do not love husky human beings.
Dude, do you remember when we were kids, though? This is what I was telling the listeners or sometime over the 10 years. When I was a kid, when I was a little fat kid, my mom would take me to Kmart or Walmart or whatever was around at the time, and they had a section called Husky. You remember this?
Of course.
They don't have it now, though. What is it, like Bad Karma or something? The kids are going to be like, oh, my God, they call me Husky. It never fazed me.
No, because everyone saw through it. It was just made for moms.
Yeah.
So they can be delusional about their fat children. No, they
had to choose when they put up those signs whether they were going to call it Husky or Big Bone.
I remember I was looking at the Star Wars figures going, Mom, I really need Chewbacca this week. And she'd be like, come over here and try these Husky size 40s on.
There's a sale on corduroys.
Let me tell you something about what the word husky comes from. You want to hear this?
You are a wealth of knowledge.
Don't blow my high, Dan.
Husky. This is what husky comes from. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in Native American days.
Yeah.
Okay. When they were, they had the corn husks.
Oh yeah.
they would take the husks off of the corn, and they would, because, you know, they would fill their clothes up, and they would walk around like
insulation.
Yes, exactly. It was insulation, but it made them look like big fat guys.
Thanks, Dan. Good food.
I'm just making that up. That last one.
See, that's BS.
That was total bullshit. I never
I'm gonna Google that shit, and I'm gonna get you back, pal. I will get you. You're gonna be like, who is this dude in 3 months? I'm gonna be going, that one thing Dan Fogler said about Husky. He's attacking the Husky man. I'm gonna put it on Twitter. Anyway, Dano, I know we're running out of time, brother. And
just one last question, Sean. We got to ask him, like, when he was younger and he was watching TV and he saw the news that said that Sam Kinison died, did you look at the news that day and say, one day they're going to ask me to play him?
No, I at that point in my life, I think I was in high school maybe, and I was a lot less husky than I am now.
Right.
And I don't think I looked as much like him. By the time I got out of college, people started coming up to me, especially when I had long hair, and sometimes I'd wear like not a beret, but like one of those, not a beret. I wouldn't wear a beret, but I would wear like
like Frenchman.
If I had like a backwards like baseball hat on or something, and my hair was long.
Yeah.
People would just be like, dude, you look just like Sam Kinison. If I had like a trench coat on or something,
and
it was either that or it was Silent Bob. You know, I get that a lot. But yeah, man, that was a thing. And at first, I was kind of rejected it. I was like, man, I hope I don't look like him. I always thought he was very bloated, you know, and very but I don't feel like I am as wide as he was. He was I think he was even shorter than I am.
Yeah, he was a bigger, smaller guy.
Yeah, and he was in interesting shape. I loved him. I loved him growing up. I thought he was amazing. I loved his energy, and we would do impressions of him. And then it wasn't until they made the movie, and I was like, shit, I'm just going to embrace this. And, you know, they wrote the movie, and or at least one of the first versions of the movie. And then I made that screen test.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I can play this guy. This would destroy my voice, but I could play this guy.
You did it too, man.
But they gave me like 10 days to put the tape together. So that was me basically doing my best Sam in the 10 days they gave me.
Yeah, it was spot on, man.
Yeah, I think it did. I got a lot of positive. You know, I may never even play that part, and it may get handed around to a lot of different people, which it seems like goes on with a lot of different movies. But because I made that tape, and because that I've gotten a lot more work off of that screen test.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just how it is, man. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, brother, I know we are running out of time. Where can our listeners find out more about you, Dano? And we got to have you come back on. You're promising, right? Yes, I'm going to promise. Okay. We're going to have you back on here in about a month or so.
I promise to come on. People should tweeter at me at Mr. Dan Fogler. Yeah. I'm on the tweeter. I'm on the tweeter all the time. That's basically the best place, and then you can connect to all the different outlets and stuff things and projects that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Definitely check out that Brooklyn Gladiator. You guys should definitely check that out.
It's on the website.
It's major. It's 20 years in the future. You know, glaciers have melted. They're building a wall. The nanites are building a wall around America. to keep out the bad people and the giant waves. And it's like Akira meets Blade Runner, and I'm really excited about it.
You should be. The art for it is awesome. The cover art.
Yeah, that's Glenn Fabry. He did a lot of the cover art for Preacher.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're a fan of that book, but I am, and so I reached out to him, and he did it. And that's like another childhood dream come true right there. So check that out, man, and check out Moon Lake and Don Peyote and all of these.
Yeah, man.
That's a movie that's out that I think would be up your alley as well. Hysterical Psycho.
Yes.
You guys know about this one?
Yes.
Check that out. That's out there. That's my first movie I directed. That's a big slasher, horror, comedy, zaniness. Yeah, check out all these things, man.
Now, when you were directing that, did any time you go, okay, now I know why my directors were getting pissed at me? Yeah, pissed you off?
yeah, exactly. Well, no, I usually respect my directors, and they rarely get pissed off at me. But being in there, yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Being in the driver's seat as a director, yeah, you just want people that are just going to be cool to work with, that do not complain, that don't complain, that are just going to get it done because you're under the clock and you're steering the ship, and you just want people that are easy to work with. So I learned a lot of lessons like that and have become that person. Trying to become easier to work with on set. I'm sure there were moments where I was on set where I was a complete asshole and was just all me, mine. It's like a complete jerk. But I've learned that that is not a good person to have on set ever.
Yeah. I said, Tao, give me my phone. Yeah, I don't know.
Where are those craft service tables?
Hey, Dano, can you stay on the line 1 second while we pay the bills so we can get you saying how much you love your brothers at G&D Radio?
Yeah, sure.
Listen to him, Paul. Sure.
You had the Crypt Keeper.
I know.
Love the Crypt Keeper.
Man.
Crypt
Keeper. Cassier's gonna come back on and say, yes, and you tell Dan if he does my voice one more time, I mean business. Anyway.
I'm charging him.
Dano, stay on the line. We love you, brother.
He was also. Oh yeah, man. This was fun.
We're definitely going to get you back on the show. I got to, because I feel like you're part of the family. You always have been, because we're so close in age, and two, just because your movies have everything I love in them. Fanboys.
Husky boys unite.
Yeah. Husky men come together. Anyway. I'm using your theory about
that.
Oh. See, that's our Voltron. Anyway, let's pay the bills, Nathan.
Will do, Sean.
Well, if you don't mind.
I guess.
You ready? Anyway, special thanks to all our homes, all our sponsors. Stitcher, Smart Radio, Planet Paranormal, Action Audio Apps. Hey, are you listening? Because they want to know, so check them out at actionaudioapps.com. Creative Commons, Free Music Archives, thanks for the tunes. From the haunted back roads of America, this has been another G&D exclusive interview. Don't go changing America. You know we won't. Demon Hunter.
Because we love you.
Night, guys.